Yeah, good morning everybody. My name is Janko Bucic. I have the role of a chief product owner for operations. Let's say responsible for 3 different platforms: SAP Solution Manager, SAP Focus Run, and SAP Cloud ALM. And today I will talk about the operations for the business technology platform with SAP Cloud ALM, which is a hot topic because the business technology platform has a lot of capabilities. Customers can build their own applications, and we like to make sure that we can also handle the operations from customer perspective sufficiently. I will first of all give you a short overview regarding SAP Cloud ALM. Then I will talk about OpenTelemetry, which is an enabler for us to enable observability for the business technology platform. And at the end, I will give you also an overview regarding the current coverage and also what are our plans for the future. Now let's come to the general approach, how we will target observability for the business technology platform. At the end, we have to differ between central approaches and local approaches. So we have, for the central approaches, we address in particular the problem detection, meaning making sure that we can figure out whether there is a certain problem. And local tools, expert tools, are used for the problem resolution. We do this on a shared databases. We call this telemetry data. This means all the different services in BTP, whether it's a custom-built application, whether it's a SaaS application, or whether this is in runtime from BTP. We feed in the data to this telemetry data, and then we can use it for problem detection or problem resolution. If we go now a little bit deeper in this problem detection topic, we see here what we can expect. This means all the different services of the business technology platform, platform as a service or software as a service, feed in their data, their telemetry data, metrics, events, log entries, and so on. Then we do a kind of assignment of this data to certain problem domains. And then on top of this, we provide you with dedicated user experiences, monitoring user experiences, where we have monitoring UIs, where we have alerting, as well as root cause analysis backed in. And this is all done with SAP Cloud ALM. SAP Cloud ALM provides us with a full stack monitoring capability. And again, what is specific for SAP Cloud ALM is that it is a personalized user experience. This means we have dedicated capabilities for people dealing with business processes. We have dedicated capabilities for people dealing with integration. We have dedicated capabilities for people dealing with background processing and so on. We have always built in our monitoring tools also alerting, so you can be notified if something goes wrong, as well as we have built in our root cause analysis capabilities. We are addressing on one hand side line of business users, so business users, as well as IT users. So certain capabilities are responsible for, or let's say, taking care about issues from business process level. Others are more on the technical level. We have also operation automation capabilities hooked in here. We are using existing operation automation capabilities provided by the business technology platform, like the automation pilot or like the build process automation. So here we integrate what is already existing. We have a very strong and central event management to correlate also certain things with each other, as well as we have business service management, which helps us at the end to give an overview regarding the healthiness of your landscape. On a more architectural level, this looks like this. On the left-hand side, we have the inbound integration, so raw data is flying in. We have the different monitoring use cases from business process down to health monitoring, where we have technical KPI monitoring. We have then the event management, so out of this monitoring use cases, you can calculate events and can correlate them. These events can then lead to certain downstream activities like generating alerts or notifications. We can also expose the data to via the external API management to third-party tools. We can also trigger operation flows. And then at the outbound side, we have to integrate with existing capabilities. For informal info notifications, we have email notifications and chats, like MS Teams, for instance. For structured information, we have tickets or we have task integration. Again, we expose the data also to analytics tools like Grafana or SAP Analytics Cloud. And again, we can also trigger operation flows with the automation pilot or the SAP built process automation. So this is at the end our flow, our problem handling, problem management flow, which we are triggering. Across, we have analytics and intelligence. So we have embedded analytics as well as external analytics, and we're adding more and more intelligent capabilities, machine learning capabilities, AI capabilities. So also Gen AI is for us a topic, for instance, to generate certain resolution texts, or we are also looking in the direction of automatic threshold determination and so on. So here a lot of stuff is in the coming, and we will also provide you this step by step. We have business service management on top, as you see. This means with this we consolidate all this technical information to a human understandable view. Here we feed also in all information which is already available in SAP, and we provide you this in a consolidated way. Now let's talk a little bit about OpenTelemetry. As mentioned, OpenTelemetry is for us an enabler, and we did 3 different things to use OpenTelemetry sufficiently. On one hand side, we are using the existing OpenTelemetry libraries to do the instrumentation, to at the end accelerate this instrumentation process. And we do this SAP internally, so our developers are doing this, and the same library we are also providing to our customers. So this means if you are building your own application, you can use this library to instrument your application. We're using always standard OpenTelemetry whenever it is possible. However, if we have certain use cases where the functionality is not provided by OpenTelemetry out of the box, then we also add certain functionality. This means we have certain extensions built. Also, we are using always auto instrumentation if it is possible. However, we have also certain situations, like for integration monitoring, for instance, where the customers has to do their instrumentation manually, as well as the SAP developers. So this is something we have to do then in the source code. So at the end, we use what is provided and we extend whenever it is necessary. We have also certain support for, let's say, utility activities, like connection handling and so on. This is also provided by the library out of the box, as well as we are handling the correlation between classical correlation approaches like the SAP Passport and the OpenTelemetry correlation. So this is all done by the library. So this is one part of this OpenTelemetry story. The second part is what we're now doing is we are decoupling more or less the connectivity. Classically, we always connected in Cloud Tenant directly with the SAP Cloud ALM tenant. Now we introduce SAP managed connectivity, so the customer has not to do this anymore. Where can SAP is doing this for them. So this means we call this also SAP managed connectivity. This means in the background, we connect already the provider account of SAP Cloud ALM with the provider account of the managed component. So the customer has not to take care about this. The customer simply says in SAP Cloud ALM, I like to have this data, and we deliver it without the need to have a dedicated connectivity. For this, we have provided a dedicated service, which we call Data Collector Runtime. This is not visible for customers, but this is at the end important. And this helps in particular for SaaS solutions which are provided by SAP. For PaaS solutions, we have still the direct connectivity. And the third part of this OpenTelemetry discussion is SAP Cloud ALM itself, which acts also as a routing infrastructure on one hand side. But, and this is even more important, we provide OpenTelemetry-enabled APIs at the inbound side as well as at the outbound side. So this means our clear vision is also that over time, customers can send us data also for non-SAP components based on the OpenTelemetry format, so that we can, for instance, in integration monitoring, construct a complete flow of SAP components with non-SAP components, which is a scenario we see at customer side. At the outbound side, we like to open up also completely for third-party tools. So in a situation that the customer says, I'm using a third-party tool for my corporate data lake, for instance, put it like this, then we also provide APIs so that also third-party tools can consume this data. And again, these APIs are OpenTelemetry enabled and helps the customers at the end to really build the complete picture, for instance, in a data lake or in an APM tool of where choice. What is also new, we expose here not only analytics data, meaning aggregated data, we will also expose the raw data so that you have also the highest level of let's say granularity, or the deepest level of granularity, so that you can really do with the data whatever you want. Also part of SAP Cloud ALM is the SAP Focused Run adapter. So if you are a Focused Run customer, you can also forward the data from SAP Cloud ALM to Focused Run. So this is also part of the story. You can also say SAP Cloud ALM is a kind of data proxy for Focused Run. Focused Run is our platform for large customers and for service providers and with hybrid landscapes. Good, let's come now to the interfaces. So this is what we intend to provide. You see on the left-hand side our use cases. You see on top the different OpenTelemetry signals, which are metrics, logs, and traces, and then also the direction inbound and outbound. And you see that already the first APIs are available this year. And we intend to finish this exercise next year. So next year we intend to preview a complete coverage for all our use cases, for all data with OpenTelemetry enabled APIs. We are also working closely together with certain, let's say, third-party tools to also test with them whether, let's say, the data is provided in a way that it could be understood by third-party tools. Good. Now let's come to the available support for SAP BTP. And now I will go monitoring use case by monitoring use case and explain what is available, and also at the end what we are planning to do. So let's start with integration monitoring. Here it's clear we are supporting integration suite, and here in particular cloud integration. End-to-end, this means including correlation, is already enabled since a longer period of time. And we are also looking here to give you also this as a kind of outlook also in the other components of integration suite, like, for instance, event mesh, and also the edge integration cell. So also here you will see more and more coming. We have also integrated mobile services as an infrastructure, as well as the event broker for cloud solutions of SAP. So also this component is integrated in integration monitoring. We see also that more and more master data integration is adopted appropriately. This is also now part of the integration monitoring suite in different use cases. So if S/4HANA and subscription billing, for instance, is exchanging data, then MDI is used for this, and appropriately it needs to be also integrated. As well as we have the integration for master data governance, cloud integration, as well as data intelligence. Then we have exception monitoring. In exception monitoring, we have from the SaaS use cases coverage for the analytics cloud. This means this action log or activity log, which is used in SAP Analytics Cloud, is instrumented, and we get the exceptions in exception monitoring. As well as we have exceptions in cloud integration, which are also then catched by the exception monitoring and visualized in exception monitoring. And then you see on the bottom the different PaaS use cases, as we call it, platform as a service use cases. This means here we have coverage for Neo and for ABAP on one hand side, and then for Cloud Foundry on the other hand side. For Neo and ABAP we have a static instrumentation, so here OpenTelemetry doesn't play a role, but for Cloud Foundry we don't have this coverage out of the box. So this means here our instrumentation environment with OpenTelemetry comes in play, and we are using this for the appropriate functionality. Real user monitoring, here we are also focused on the PaaS use cases, same as I explained before. We have Neo and ABAP with a static instrumentation, and OpenTelemetry-based instrumentation for Cloud Foundry. Here we are supporting Java and Node.js. From the library perspective, customers can always add their own instrumentation if they like, also in another programming language, but we are providing here coverage for Node.js and Java with our library. And with this, as you see here, we have a complete end-to-end measurement from front end via different microservices in BTP Cloud Foundry to the backend. In this case, this is an HANA example, but it could be also an ABAP-based backend. Then we have the job and automation monitoring. Job and automation monitoring is necessarily to monitor all background processes. On top, you see that we have here the integration to iRPA on one hand side and build process automation on the other hand side. So this is now really for the monitoring of automations, the monitoring of processes, workflows. This will also come soon. This is also already on our roadmap. This is what we do for BTP. And then for the PaaS use cases, we have coverage for Cloud Foundry and for ABAP. Again, Cloud Foundry is again an OpenTelemetry-based approach, but here now done based on manual instrumentation. Auto instrumentation is not providing here the right capabilities. Then we have health monitoring, and this gives you now a complete cycle of coverage. And this is what we call also technical KPI monitoring. So the situation is that we have still certain KPIs which has to be monitored by the customer. Normally the technical monitoring is done by SAP, but certain things are still relevant for customers. To make example, in Integration Suite Cloud Integration, we have to monitor certain queue lengths, or we have to monitor, for instance, the certificates which are provided by the customers, and we have to make sure that they are still valid. So these are the capabilities we do with health monitoring. Again, Integration Suite. We have coverage API management. We also have coverage for the certificates. For HANA Cloud, we have a broad coverage, because if customers are building their own application, are using HANA Cloud as a persistency, then we need to understand how HANA is behaving, whether we have enough capacity for HANA and so on. Cloud Connector is part of a cloud-centric solution we have to monitor. Also, this is appropriately covered. We have then build process automation and RPA, which is monitored, where we have to make sure that these robots which are replaying at the end the activities are monitored. And SAP Cloud ALM as itself is also monitored with health monitoring. And then below you see also for the custom build applications, Neo and ABAP again is with static instrumentation monitored, and Cloud Foundry is monitored with the OpenTelemetry based approach for Java and Node.js. So business service management we provide also as a generic capability for all services coming out of BTP. So now what are our plans? What is our roadmap? Let's start with the SaaS use cases. So this is what we will deliver in Q4 and Q1 2024. First of all, a strong wish of our customers is also to get visibility in the security settings for BTP services. This is running under the term security dashboard, if you heard this. So the first wave for this will come in the next 2 quarters. Then we will also support Edge Integration Cell, which is the replacement for PO/PI. So here we will also provide health monitoring support. Then, as I mentioned already, the build process automation and workflow management is something we have in mind, what we will also support to make our job and automation monitoring capabilities complete. Data privacy integration is also something where we plan to provide job and automation monitoring capabilities. And then also for SAP Build Work soon, we like to provide coverage for real user monitoring. And then on the PaaS side, meaning for the customer build applications, we will extend our coverage from Cloud Foundry to Kyma. So Kyma is not yet covered, so we will provide this in the first wave. And then we will also provide the integration with Focused Run, as you see. So all the different use cases, what we provide for customer build applications will be then also be provided for Focused Run. Job and automation monitoring for customer build applications in Node.js. So this is also something we have on our radar. And then we will also provide the integration between exception monitoring and the cloud logging service. So this is exactly what I explained at the beginning. Exception monitoring is used for problem detection, and the cloud logging service is then used for the problem resolution. So we are here integrating central tools with local tools. And then again, on the longer roadmap, we have then also a second wave for the configuration security analysis. We will also provide Edge Integration Cell integration. We will also monitor further components of the integration suite. Analytics Cloud and Datasphere is in scope. And then we will also provide step-by-step additional functionality for the PaaS use cases, Kyma, a second wave. exception monitoring for Node.js applications, integration with the application logging service. So these are the things to come. With this, I'm at the end of my presentation, and we can now start with the Q&A session.
Live Q&A.
So we have several questions here, and I will repeat the questions, and then I will try my best to give the answers. So let's see. Here's the question. The first question is, if we have on-prem solution, would we be able to leverage these capabilities such as integrations and BTP? No. Very likely not, because Solution Manager is something what, again, is our legacy, if you like to say so. We will not invest in further instrumentation for Solution Manager. Our go-to platforms is SAP Cloud ALM, as I just introduced to you. You are open to use SAP Cloud ALM with no additional charge. So this means every customer who has a cloud service is also entitled to use SAP Cloud ALM. We will not invest in the integration in SAP Solution Manager. There's a second question. Focused Run is based on Solution Manager, which is end of life in a few years. Is there a roadmap for Calm to pull data out of FRUN instead of being a data proxy for FRUN? So this is perhaps a misunderstanding. Focused Run is not based on Solution Manager. Focused Run is a completely isolated code line, follows the S4 code line, S4 on-premise code line, meaning with HANA as persistency, the S4 application foundation is platform, and then SAP UI 5 is UI paradigm, and it is not following. It is a completely isolated product and is not following the end-of-life communication for Solution Manager. So this is simply a misunderstanding. So in this sense, our clear intention is to go in the direction of SAP Cloud ALM or Focused Run, and then you are also future-proof. Next question: will SAP Cloud ALM ensure clients do not need external observability tools like Dynatrace for BTP and related SaaS solutions? This is absolutely our target. So this means for problem detection, you should be good enough with SAP Cloud ALM. There should not be a need to use Dynatrace or other tools. And again, we are a company with the local tools, and also the local tools will proceed to develop and will also provide more detailed information step by step. Good. Next question is it also possible to monitor external integration tools that are connected to SAP? As I mentioned, with our direction to go to OpenTelemetry and to open up to consume data in OpenTelemetry, we would then also like to enable monitoring for non-SAP components. Sure, somebody has to retrieve the data from where and has to send it to us, but this is something what we absolutely envision, and potentially we provide you also, with the help of partners, also certain support out of the box. There's another question. What is about alert notifications from Calm for having third-party integrated integrated with BMC Remedy or Microsoft OBM? So this is already today possible. So we have via this external APIs, as I mentioned already, we have the capability to integrate with every ticket system, with every task management system. For ServiceNow, we have a deep integration. But at the end, this is clarified and you can use it out of the box. It's also documented. You can find the appropriate information at the Business API Hub. So this is all from my side. I hope you found some interesting information in this session. Again, we have, I think we did a big step forward covering the observability for the Business Technology Platform. And as I also let's say, provided you the information, we have also plans to increase our coverage and to provide you even more capabilities. With this, I like to say thank you for your attention. I wish you a wonderful day and also further very interesting sessions. And yes, have a good day. Thank you very much.